think we're live now. Hey everyone, sorry I didn't get to go live yesterday. We had a Halloween parade downtown and the kids went trick-or-treating and they had the business trick-or-treat. So we did all of that yesterday and it's nice. It was nice to have everybody together. I figured tonight we could do just a quick old, hi Melinda, we could just do a quick, hi Bobby. I figured tonight we could just do a quick Q&A, see if we have any questions in the group, see what we've been working on here. Let's see all of this. There we go. I've been working on my diagonal scarf. Let's see if we can, there you go. It's got diagonal stripes. And it's done in the Bernat velvet yarn. And it's coming out super soft. She wanted diagonal lines, so I'm kind of making the pattern up as I go along. So that's been interesting. But it's coming out nice. I like it. So do we have any questions in the group lately? I've seen we've had a couple posts about the different patterns and checking, needing to check for broken lines. I know a few of the members, one of them was going to do the Marauder scarf. And hello Robin. And that has a lot of broken lines in it. Actually Angela did a part of it, and that's one of her examples that we have here in the group. She had to go in and color some blocks in to make it work, so that was pretty helpful. But yeah, like a huge thing is, even if it's designed for single crochet, you're still going to need to go in and check and see if any of the blocks are broken. There's so many patterns like that, unfortunately. And I think some of them may be made by people that are just coming up with a pattern but aren't really designers. Hi Karen. So yeah, that makes it a little bit hard. So like I said, I started my scarf and I got the diagonal rows going. And that's in the Bernat velvet, and I really like how this is coming out. It's so super soft. So so yeah, I have that going on. That's what's on my hook now. And so I'm doing Tunisian diagonally, kind of like a corner to corner. So, do we have any questions? I just figured that tonight I could just pop on and maybe answer a few questions and see what all's going on. It's so nice that you all join me. I like having you all here. Robin says it's looking good. Thank you. Yeah, I was really worried when I needed to... When I got the yarn, and then she's like, what do you think you could do diagonal stripes? I was like, oh no, I don't know how that's going to work. But it's coming out nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So, so yeah, last night we did the business trick-or-treat, and it was nice to see everybody from town. I think that's why I stopped working on my brother's blanket. Melinda says it has a few one-stitch color changes. Yeah, those one-stitch color changes, I had to go into a few patterns and decide whether I wanted to make them 2 stitches wide or take out the 1 stitch, and it was very time-consuming. Cause I did it with a pencil, so at least I could erase it if it didn't look right. Bobby says, "'Cause we love you." Thank you, Bobby. So it's winter here in PA. I don't know what happened to fall, but it's suddenly like super, super cold. So today I put a big old pot of bean soup on and cleaned up my kitchen some and worked on this scarf and got the pattern down pat. I think it's finally perfected. Till I get to the other end and I got to figure out that decreasing part. So, is anybody still working on the Paw Patrol? I haven't seen anybody post in there. We're probably going to do a post in that group to ask in that event to see what's going on there. Because I don't think we've passed out blocks in a few weeks, which is fine. It's not. I'm not in any rush to get it done. And working with this Bernat, the Velvet, I actually am working with a K hook. It calls for a K, and I actually am working with the K. I'm doing the Tunisian knit stitch on this. That's why these lines are so thick. This is actually the Tunisian knit stitch. This is coming down. But I really do like it. I think that it's coming out nice. I think I might actually make myself one after I get done with all of the orders that I have right now. So I think that's going to be fun. Now I just got to decide what colors I want, because I wear everything from neutrals to super bright colors. In the summer I'm in neon. So yeah. Has anybody been having any problems with anything? I know that one of the girls wanted us to talk about that Zodo, and I print my patterns out, and then I mark my each section off with a pencil so that I can erase. So I don't really use any of the apps. I find them too hard to use on my phone, because that's what I have is a phone, and you know, your screen times out and then it's black and then you got to figure out where you're at. And so the only other way that I did it was I had screenshot and saved it to my memo and then was marking things off that way, and I did like that. So yeah, I kind of am not handy with that, unfortunately. But we did post something in the group about the Zodo, and I'm talking to somebody else right now about something else that they're using, and we may put that in the group up here shortly. Bobby said she's working on Paw Patrol, and she loves Zodo. There are so many features. Yeah, I think that a lot of times with technology, it's one of them things that when you have the time to sit down and play with it, then it's fantastic. But I know that some of us get it and know what it could be used for, and then get frustrated because we don't have the time to play around with it, so there's not that much of the immediate gratification because you're fumbling around. Melinda says she uses Zodo on her Kindle. Yeah, I might have to actually download it and play around with it. But like I said, I've tried a couple different things with my phone, and you know, your screen time's out, so then it goes black, and then you're opening it back up, and you know, a lot of mine too, like I get a lot of Facebook Messenger and Facebook notifications, and sometimes, you know, when I got my phone turned sideways, I'm trying to read something and all the notifications are coming down, and I'm like, no. So, yeah, I need some time to play around with stuff. I'm hoping to get a little bit of time to myself after Christmas orders are done, because I have 4 more orders to get done, and one is a huge blanket. So I need to pick that up. But I've had a few things to do the last couple days, so something that's mobile, you know, has been a little bit easier to take with me and work on. Hi, Kathleen. Yeah, so, I do like that our group goes live and that we do have the option for questions and answers. I was thinking, how many people would be interested in us doing a post at the beginning of the week for what questions you would like answered? And that way you could go back later on if you can't catch us during the live and watch and know that your question's answered. Lynn, is there a video how to use Zoto? There is a YouTube video. Hi, Lisa. We did just share a post about Zoto, and it walks you through step by step on what to do with, I think it's with an Android phone, but if Bobby corrects me, I think it may have everything in it, a few different options. But yeah, there is a few videos on how to use it, and we may end up just putting some more of the Zoto information on that post that Bobby made. I want to say it was either yesterday or the day before. Hi, Lisa. So, again, if anybody's open, we will do a post on Mondays, and that way people can ask questions, and then when I go live, then that way they can watch the live video, and I can go over what their questions were, and do that if anybody's interested. I think that would be something that way they could watch and have the video separate. And then Bobby just put up the link. I think that's for the Zoto post that we did have up. So that should be able to help out a few of you. And like I said, we probably will expand on that. And there are a few more apps that a few other people use that I'm looking into right now. I'm talking to people about what they like about them, what they don't like about them. I think everybody wants something that's user-friendly and easy to maneuver. It's so frustrating when you download some of this and then you're playing around with it for so long trying to figure it out, and then you're not crocheting. She said she can't click on the link. Well, either way, we'll get a working link up this evening for that. Yeah, like I said, the scarf that I'm doing right now, doing the knit stitch on it, and I really like how it's coming out. I was a little surprised because I did go up 2 hook sizes for the scarf. It calls for K on the yarn, and I tried an M and it was too holy, and I tried the L and it was too holy, so I went down to the K, and it's actually working good, so I was a little surprised. So, Bobby said she's going to tag you in the group or PM it. Thanks, Bobby. I got messages coming through. Nothing like Facebook Messenger while you're live. That's okay, though. So, how's everybody's projects coming along? Is anybody having any problems? Are they happy with what's going on? Have you found any tips or tricks or things you'd like to share? I do think that it's exciting to hear how different people do different things and how everything's um, so new in Tunisian. You know, I noticed like lately I've been getting invited and or tagged in some groups that I'm not in, and the notifications will come up for them. And there's so many more crochet groups, like new crochet groups that are coming out, and I think it's nice that we kind of got a little niche. You know, there's not a lot of Tunisian groups, and that's why I started this. You know, there were so many questions that I had asked to me when I was doing Tunisian Graphghans and selling mine locally, and I thought, well, you know, I'll start a little group. So I think it's grown amazingly. I'm really happy about that. Melinda says her whip isn't Tunisian. Oh, that's okay. We can have non-Tunisian ones every once in a while. I hadn't done a non-Tunisian whip in so long that the last one I picked up, I actually had to YouTube how to single crochet and double crochet so that I could just get a quick refresher, because I made my chain row for my foundation, and then I drew a complete blank. I was like, you have to be kidding me. But the second I watched the first part of the stitch, I was like, oh, that's it. It all came back. But it's funny how you do a certain stitch for so long, and then it's so second nature to you, and then you go back to an old stitch and you feel like a beginner all over again. I felt very fumbly. So yeah. Hi, Janine. I see you are watching. Yeah, so yeah, I think tonight, you know, for those that are watching the video or watching the video later, um, please let me know what you would like, how you would like to ask questions if you're not on when we're going live. And that way we can post a flyer or something that people can ask questions during the week. And then when we go live, we can answer all them questions, so then the people can join the next live video and know that their questions are answered. Karen, I did 3 swatches and the third would come out looking better. Yeah, I find that the more you practice with things, the more they come out better. Like I said, I just am doing this scarf and I'm making the pattern up as I go along, and it took me a few tries to get this corner the way I like it. Kathy says, how do you decide when to lock in bobbins and when not to? Using 2 ways, of course. Using your 2 ways, of course. If you do not go under 2 stitches for your color change at least 1 time on the front to lock the color changes in, then you will have a gap even if you pull your bobbins tight. And that's why people are locking them in on the back with twisting the bobbins. But when I first learned that way, I absolutely didn't like it. My bobbins were a mess, and it was a little difficult. So I do 2 stitches together twice, especially when it's my border and then my pattern, because it makes the line around it really crisp. I do find that some people prefer the 2 stitches together twice, and some people prefer 2 stitches together once and then the next stitch in that stitch that you had just worked in. I think a lot of it is personal preference and how much you play around with it and the look that you're going for. A lot of times once you cast on the 2 stitches twice, or the 2 stitches together once and then do the next stitch, you can look at your pattern. It depends too on how close your work is. Like, for instance, if I have a few, like maybe 1 or 2 in a pattern that's a 1 stitch color change because things are coming up to a point, then I will do the 2 stitches together, 2 stitches together, and 2 stitches together, because it does pull them super tight and crisp. So, I think a lot of it is personal preference and just playing around with it. You know, when I started playing around with it, a lot of the ones that I was doing, I liked when I had the 2 stitches together twice, because it pulls everything so close together, especially when you're if it's a big color block. I really like that. Like, there is a Tunisian gingham blanket that's going around, and I noticed, you know, they're twisting the bobbins in the back, and I noticed when I did mine and I did the two color changes, the 2 stitches together and then 2 stitches together again, I was getting super clean lines, and I absolutely loved it because it's more of a block. Sometimes if you want something that's not so squared off, then the 2 stitches together and then the 1 stitch works a little bit better. And you know, once you get the stitch cast on after that and you hold it up and you kind of look at it a little bit, it's easy to look at it and then think, you know what, this doesn't look right, I'm going to tear it back. So I think, Kathy, that's the long answer to deciding. The short answer is, to cast it on and then look at it and think, I don't really like that, or I do like that, or, sometimes you have to go in and then tug them bobbins tighter to really get a good idea what it's going to look like. So, and Lisa says, back to work for me, just wanted to pop in on break. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so, yeah, I'd like to get some ideas of where you think that the group should go, or, what you would like to see in it. Yeah, it's me and Angela are the admin here, but you guys are the members. You guys make the group what it is. So, if you would, all of your input's fantastic, because then it lets us know what you would like to see filmed, what you'd like to see going on, and, where it gives us a good idea of what direction to go. And I think that's one of the things too, is there are so many things developing in the Tunisian world, different stitches and different ways to do things, and so I think sometimes Angela and I are so excited about other projects, but they're not Graphghan related. We're trying them out, and we're trying different things, and people are questioning about different stitches, so we're in the background trying those out, and then they don't work out for the Graphghan or what we're doing, so then we have to toss the whole idea that we've been working on for a week, in between just normal lives of taking care of kids and family and grandkids and the house and cars, and of course we've got our own behind the scenes stuff that goes on. Cars break down and people get sick, and so some days, sometimes running the group can be a lot of work. And some weeks it's, you know, it's enjoyable, and some weeks it's like, you know, that's why I like having the mods and stuff, because, you know, the other day I didn't feel too good, and I stopped in and said, hey, you know, I'm going to lay down. Hey, Josie! I said, I'm going to lay down for, you know, an hour. Can you guys keep an eye on the group? You know, so it's fantastic having such a fantastic group of mods that can watch over and do things so that, you know, I don't have to check in as much. And of course, Facebook updated today, so I didn't get notifications, and then my Facebook updated, and I ended up with like 45 notifications all at once. Gotta love Facebook. But, yeah, so I thought tonight we'd make it a little short and sweet, so we don't have a lot of questions. Bobby said, would you like me to turn into an octopus so I can work on 4 projects at the same time? I might get some stuff done. I wish I had another me. Then I could have one me that crochets and one me that does errands and housework and laundry. Although I would like, they have this machine that you put your clothes in and it folds it for you. So I think those would be, they're like $1,000. I was like, yeah, this would be fantastic. But I still don't think my son would fold his clothes in it. That's what having a teenager is sometimes, I think. So, yeah, I thought I'd just pop on for a quick Q&A, and please, 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 anybody that watches this, please go into the comments, or even just make a post in the group, and let us know what you'd like to see. I am going to be getting a few more videos up. I'm hoping to get 2 specific ones up after Halloween. But the one blanket order I have is quite large. It's it's over 300 rows, and I'm having some issues with it because it's not a Graphghan. It's a bobble stitch blanket, and where the blocks are connecting, I'm playing around with a few ideas to get it together because I want it to be perfect. You know, I take a lot of pride in what I sell, so I think that's good. You know, because you know your name is out there, and I don't want. I've seen, you know, I think we've all seen someone's work and been like, this is not what the person thought they were getting. So I don't want to be in that situation. I really take pride in what I do, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so yeah, that's making it a little bit more difficult. Kathy said, videos are always appreciated when you have time. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I have a list, and I'm going to be going down the list. I think especially once Christmas is over, it'll be much easier to get back to what we're doing, because I know that once, like, July and August hits, I get swamped with Christmas stuff. And, you know, a big part of what I sell is crocheted work, but I also do some skincare things. I make my own bath bombs and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a very full plate at times. So Melinda Lee, again, another reason why I quit that blanket. Yeah, you know, it is so hard sometimes when you can't, especially when you get an order for something, you're under the gun because you've wrote up the contract, it's been signed, there's been an exchange of money, and now you're working on a pattern and you're really having problems with it. So, um, since I decided the best thing to do would be to put it down, get some pictures, talk to a few people and get some input, and in the meantime, not think about it and work on the scarf. Because, I'm going to be working on the scarf, I pretty much worked on it Wednesday, Thursday, and tomorrow I'm going to work on it. And then Monday, I'm going to pick it back up after I've got some input and played around with a few different swatches to perfect what I'm doing. And worst case scenario, if I don't like it that much, I can always do it in single crochet and use more of a bean stitch for the bobble if I can't get my color changes as clean as I want. Robin says, okay, dinner ready. We'll finish watching this later. Thank you for all your help and instructions. Help some of us old fogies learn new ways. Oh, Robin, you're not an old fogey. Josie said, I was making my Christmas stocking stuffers, Tunisian scarves in July. I did make some stuff in July that's, more family, for my family, but I don't know, when that Bernat Velvet yarn came out, I really got hit with some of the fall stuff, and especially now that, usually here in Pennsylvania, you have the chillier nights, but, we have an era where you have the bonfires, and you can sit outside, and it's chilly, but it's not so bad, and it really skyrocketed and dove temperature-wise here, so, yeah, we kind of missed that. Bobby says, where's Kitty? He's locked out of the room this evening. He was downstairs mouse chasing when I came in, so he's missing out tonight. Well, I guess if there's not really any questions tonight, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to reiterate, please, any tips, anything you'd like to see in the group, any questions you'd like answered, please always ask. That's what this group's all about. It's learning. And, yes, there's questions that me and Angela have answered a million times. And we still answer them a million more. That's what we're here for. We're all here to teach and to learn and see what's going on. And there's always new techniques and new things coming out. And, and practicing and seeing new techniques and new things, is what's exciting. And I think that's what I like so much about Tunisian is you can constantly learn other stitches and constantly learn other things, and it just happens to be that I fell into the Graphghan niche, that's what I really like doing. And I think that that's really what helps things, is that I really like the cleanness in the Graphghans and the color changes. Even in the Tunisian knit stitch, it's not as clean to me, but it looks so knitted, and that's one of the things I like about it too. It's the knitted look is fantastic. There's just so many things you can do with Tunisian, and things that people are just doing right now, and it's amazing, and it's mind-boggling, and I'm always reading and learning and looking at new things and looking at new patterns, and I think that's what's so fascinating about Tunisian. And yeah, so hopefully I can get the scarf worked on a good bit and get that done. Like I said, I really like how it's coming out. It's super, super soft. And now that I've got the decreases and stuff worked out, I'm really happy with, it, and the fact that these diagonal lines are working out is exciting to me. And I love that. This is so soft. like I said, I might end up making myself one. It's amazing. Hi Cheryl, hi Lisa. So, again, if there's no questions, I'm going to pop off here, and please give input. Um, Even if you don't feel comfortable, put it in the group. Message me. Hey, I would like to see, or hey, could you add this, or you know, how does this work, or could you do a video and show us how to do this? You know, especially when it comes to the, you know, the Graphghans, or what borders might work, or whatever, you know, that I do like trying out different stitches and seeing what's going to work. And I would like to try to get some stuff done in between Halloween and Christmas. But I do know once Christmas is over, then, you know, everything will be a little more relaxed, because then I won't be so swamped with the orders that I have. Luckily, the one big one I have is not due till the beginning of January, so that gives me some time to play around with it. So that makes me very happy. So, yeah, if there's no more questions, then I'm going to pop off here for the evening, and feel free to message me and give me ideas what directions you'd like to see the group go. It's nice to have members help brainstorm too. So, was that a scarf you just showed? It looks very thick. Yes, the scarf that I'm doing is in the Bernat Velvet yarn, and it is not going to lay flat because the way it's worked diagonally. So, let's see if I can do it this way. So I'm working diagonally, that's why my hook's up here. And I'm really liking how it's coming out. And it's super soft. So, thank you, Cheryl. This actually, this is an order, and the lady that ordered it wanted diagonal stripes, and I thought, oh, how am I going to do that? Because I don't like the one stitch color changes, you know. So if I would have graphed it out on the end, I would have had a one stitch color change, then a two stitch color change, where this, I've always got 61 stitches across, and then after I did so much, I could add more. So, yeah, I'm really liking this. And she wanted something wide too, and that's, you know, this is like 12 inches wide. So, let's see, what do we got going on here? So, thank you. I'm glad it looks beautiful. I'm going to be doing a hat after this. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with the hat. If it's going to have diagonal stripes or be squared off with the, you know, the straight stripes. So, yeah, and a few people that have seen the scarf already have asked me to write up the pattern. So, I've been taking notes as I'm going along. So I do create a lot of patterns of the things that I make. If it's not a Graphghan, I kind of make it up as I go along. So that's nice. Well, I'm going to call it an evening here, and thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a fantastic, I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and I will, I'm not sure if I'll be on Halloween, because Halloween is Wednesday here, for trick or treat. I probably will be on, but I will know in the next day or two whether I will or not. So I will update you all. And if I don't see you for Halloween, I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. And if I do see you, then I look forward to seeing you and speaking with you again. It's so nice that you all join me and keep us going and give us such great input, so we have ideas of what directions to go, because, you know, even though we have ideas, it's nice to be the leader, but it's not nice to be the leader when you have the leader just doing what the leader wants to do. So that's why I think it's so important, and to me, you know, especially to me and Angela, that members give input, so that way we know what you all would like to see. So, thank you all for being such great members and making this group what it is. It means a lot to both of us. So, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you all later. Have a great evening, guys.